Raja, welcome back to Marketing Media Money.
Thank you.
It's been a busy last year for you.
Busy, exciting, productive, and I would say really laying foundations for the future. So all in all, very grateful for last year. It's been fantastic since you and I last met.
Priceless is your big marketing vehicle, but you're now pushing that one step further. What's that all about?
So Priceless has been evolving. For 16 years, it was all about observing priceless moments in people's lives and celebrating them, shining the spotlight on those. 4 years back, we said we need to play a more active role than just passively observing. So we created 4 platforms called Priceless Cities, Priceless Specials, Priceless Surprises, and Priceless Causes, where we enable priceless moments in people's lives. The logic behind is when people create their own stories, they become your brand ambassadors. And the communication that then happens is extremely credible and very powerful. And so we started talking about not storytelling, but about story making. Last year, we were evaluating that whole approach and say, is it time for us to evolve further and take it a notch up? And we said, yes, there is an opportunity. Culturally, there are a lot of things happening at this point in time. For example, a lot of biases. And we said, should we potentially start shining the spotlight on some of these biases and as a brand, take a stance on them and inspire people to start something priceless? And that was a bold idea in many ways. And what we also found through research is that consumers want brands not to just throw ads at them, but to actually stand up for something that they believe in and do something about it. They want action from brands. And more than 80% of the people believe that brands have the capacity and the power to make a difference. So we said, let's actually marry all these and create this campaign called Start Something Priceless. For us, it's much more than a campaign, it's a movement. So internally, we now are calling it as from priceless moments to priceless movements.
So what is Priceless Movements all about?
The whole idea is that we want to shine the spotlight on something that we believe in and something where we feel that people can do something priceless. So let me give you a tangible example. So when we were looking at the biases that are prevailing in the culture today, one of those is against nations. So people from one country, they have a complete prototype about a particular country. And they say this country is a good country, this country is a nasty country. And they characterize everyone in that country with that broad brush. Which is a little sad. And if you see the kind of differences which are prevailing in the world today, that's something which should not be happening. Whereas this is the time for us to come together. So we brought in 22 people from different countries, each one speaking a different language, and made them play soccer into 2 teams of 11 each. And we said whichever team wins, they get tickets to go to UEFA Champions League. Before they started playing the game, we had them express their feelings about other countries on camera with their permission.
Gli italiani giocano un gioco molto maschio.
Any fun to daddy one look.
Love to see their faces, all the Germans on the floor crying their eyes out.
Deutsch.
And the kind of comments that were being made, fascinating. The amount of deep-rooted bias that people have. In many cases, they don't even have a basis for that bias, but that's how they think and that's how they have been perceiving people from the other countries. And when they started playing the game, something magical happens. They forget all the differences, they forget who is from which country, their focus is on winning, their focus is on the goal, and they start bonding together very naturally and very organically. And by the end of it all, they're real buddies. And then we had a priceless surprise by the appearance of Pele out there, and these are all fans of soccer. So they idolized Pele, and the whole feeling was so beautiful. It was so inspiring. And actually Pele makes a comment, and it was a genuine comment, not scripted. And he says, it gave him goosebumps and brought tears to his eyes. It does really. So we said, should we not do as a brand these kind of things? In the process, what happens? You're authentically getting into the conscious stream of people. And people are telling their stories, and you're subtly in the background as opposed to in your face. This was a big experiment for us, a very different direction. And we began piloting last year. And we found that the response from the consumers is incredibly positive. So we said, here's the way we will go. So now what we are doing is we are taking each one of our major sponsorships, which themselves are centered around the various passion points of people. So we got 9 passion points, and we got sponsorships in each one of those passion points. So passion point being an area where people care deeply about that area. And we are creating these kind of scenarios and situations and highlighting the biases that prevail or the opportunities that exist to do something different. Internally, for example, within Mastercard, we have got employees starting something priceless. It could be as simple as leaving your stupid cell phone away from your table at the time of dinner with your family. That's priceless. It brings about a conversation within the family, and it does make a difference. It could be as simple as that, or adopting a pet from a shelter, making a difference to another life, in other words, or to a child.
Isn't there a worry that corporations doing this sort of thing looks a little bit worthy?
The main point here is how authentic and genuine are you as a brand. If you're doing it in a pretentious fashion, consumers will see through it from a mile distance. So you have to be authentic. You have to mean what you are saying. You have to walk the talk. That's why this whole campaign we began in-house with our own people, our own employees first over the last 1 year. And we saw the kind of reaction people had. The pride of ownership from the employees about this whole campaign was fantastic. That's what gave us the courage to test it out externally and then roll it out. So we're doing it with Grammy Awards, for example. We have done it. And we were showcasing the biases that prevail in the world of music, where you have got people who, instead of being judged for talent, for their musical talent, mostly they are judged by their physical appearance. And we said, let's actually highlight this and showcase the examples of people who have overcome those biases, have fought against those biases, and succeeded.
I was bullied for being different, the way I thought, the way I spoke, calling me camel lips and horse teeth.
SZA, for example, was one such case, and we have made her our brand ambassador, and she narrated her whole story, where her physical looks were being actually commented upon in a self-confidence destroying fashion as she was growing up. But then she stood against that, she fought against that, and today, this year, she was the most nominated, Grammy-nominated female artist. And so we're highlighting these inspirational examples and urging people to say, hey, start something priceless.
So what's in it for Mastercard? You want to see your return on investment. How do you actually measure that in this case?
So we look at 2 different dimensions, or 2 different buckets. The first one is about the brand and what it is doing to the brand. The second one is about the business. How is it driving business or not? So we have already examples where we have taken causes such as World Food Program and said that irrespective of where a person is hungry, whether it is from Syria, he or she is a refugee, doesn't matter. If they are hungry, you need to take care of them. So we have created, for example, billboards in Paris as part of this whole campaign. And we said, if you as a consumer, a normal person, go and tap at these electronic billboards, you can donate €1 to feed a child at his or her school for 1 week. There is a matching contribution from Mastercard. The response has been very, very positive. And this we have launched initially in Paris, and we'll take it to other parts of the world. What happens is the brand affinity, the brand likability significantly shifts. And this is measured quantitatively. It's not just an opinion or a feel. Then on the business side, you also see people. Typically, when a brand is doing something good, and if the consumer doesn't have to pay anything extra to use this brand, they would do it. So you see a brand preference shift. And again, we have measured it quantitatively. And we find that these campaigns actually pay for themselves quite nicely.
Hello, I'm James Wright. Thanks for watching Marketing Media Money. To check out more online videos, just click on the boxes and don't forget to subscribe to the CNBC Live channel at the bottom of the screen.